Well, right now at 6, hundreds of students in Central Ohio are quarantining from their classrooms.
It's because of exposure to COVID-19. While this challenge is nothing new, our state health department just released new COVID recommendations for school districts to follow.
Now, the goal of this guidance is to decrease the number of quarantines. 10 TV's Lindsay Mills is here to outline the suggested rules.
Yolanda and Andrew, these guidelines were created with data collected from a pilot program at school districts in Warren County. ODH Director Dr. Bruce Vanderhoff says that data show when students are wearing masks, their risk of getting the virus or spreading it is very low.
According to the latest numbers for students quarantined at Gahanna Jefferson schools, there's just under 200. That's just under 3% of students. At Pickerington local schools, there were 85 out of the classroom, less than 1% of students. And Columbus City schools, more than 1,100 students in quarantine. That's just over 2%.
The updated quarantine guidelines we're sharing today will allow for as much in-school learning as possible.
Those guidelines, mask to stay and test to play. Here's how it works. For mask to stay, if your child has direct exposure to someone with COVID-19 at school or a school activity, they can stay in school symptom-free, wearing a mask for 14 days. But between days 5 and 7 after exposure, they have the option to test. If they have a negative test and are symptom-free, they can remove the mask, unless it's already required. For test to play, this applies to participation in extracurricular activities. Asymptomatic participants can continue after direct exposure as long as they wear a mask when it's reasonably possible. They have to take a test as soon as they find out they've been exposed, and then again in the 5 to 7 day window.
We recognize that testing, especially testing that is proctored, can be a bit more challenging.
School districts in Worthington and Whitehall say they provide at-home COVID-19 tests. They are not talking about implementing new guidelines right now. Delaware City Schools is working with its local health department on exploring quarantine options, but nothing has been finalized yet. And there, they are relying on their local library to provide at-home test kits.
Now, according to Dr. Vanderhoff, schools are not required to adopt these policies, and parents can opt out if they desire. Those who consistently wear masks in school and those who are fully vaccinated can already remain in the classroom if they are exposed to COVID-19.